Currently, statistics show that an average of 85 out of 100 people in Singapore have been injected with the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine, and an average of 83 out of 100 people are fully vaccinated by 10 October 2021. Singapore is currently facing the 60th wave of the COVID-19 pandemic since August 23. Lee emphasized that Singapore remains committed to continue its strategy of living at peace with the coronavirus while intensifying the fight against the Delta variant, which is spreading very rapidly. The restrictions have been in place since 26 September after the daily number of COVID-19 cases, especially local infection, broke a record. The number of residents who can gather face to face is reduced from a maximum of 5 people to. And this is the last COVID-19 data in Singapore.
Based on the article of IBM, their report integrates results from multiple proprietary surveys of consumer and executives. It primarily focuses on the responses of Singapore executives who collectively oversee over 1 trillion Singapore dollar in revenue. See research methodology details. Our overwhelming conclusion, post-COVID-19, the reality for businesses has radically shifted. First, digital transformation. Adaptability is now a mandatory business competency, and an accelerated pace of change has become normal. The COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated digital transformation at 59% of organizations we surveyed, and 66% say they have been able to complete initiatives that previously encountered resistance. And then second, the human element is the key to success. More than 3/4 of Singapore executives expect change customer behavior to continue after COVID-19. Trading face-to-face contact for more shopping and customer service interactions online. To that end, 85% of Singapore executives say that the customer experience management will be high priority over the next 2 years, compared to only 37% just 2 years ago. And yet, improved customer service sits in the bottom half of the list benefit that executives seek from digital transformation.
Third, traumatic stress has hijacked corporate strategy. Executives are tasked with defining their organization vision. Since the beginning of 2020, executive priorities have been a bit fluid and they've reshuffled again the last few months. Corporate priorities are much more focused on crisis management, workplace safety, and security than they were 2 years ago, but in the future, 85% of Singapore executives expect cash flow and liquidity management to be a priority, more than twice as many respondents as 2 years ago.
And then next, fourth, some will win, some will lose, but few will do it alone. The COVID-19 pandemic has not impacted all organizations and industries equally. The findings show that executives expect health-related sector to be the most likely post-crisis winner. Telecommunication, media, and entertainment were also expected to show positive impact, both by staying at home, others, and habit. Atop the losers list, like travel and transportation, and manufacturing-intensive industries, including automotive. Within sectors, expectations are growing that broader reach will help define winners. Either way, they expect such participation to grow by more than 300% over the next 2 years compared to 2 years ago. Fifth, health is the key to sustainability. Before coronavirus, sustainability strategies were largely centered on environmental issues, like the risks to planetary health from pollution, climate change, and the like. Consumers where increasing choose product and branded demonstrate authenticity in this area, inspiring passion and allegiance.
Donation. The first is the Courage Fund. The Courage Fund was first set up in 2003 to provide relief to victims and healthcare workers during the severe acute respiratory syndrome or SARS outbreak. When COVID-19 struck last year, a fundraising effort was kickstarted again by the community chest to support those affected by the pandemic. On top of lower-income households, the fund also provides support under various themes for healthcare workers, frontline workers, and community volunteers, as well as dependents of those who die from COVID-19. As of July 13, the Courage Fund has raised more than $18.4 million in donation for COVID-19 from the community, of which $2.7 million have been disbursed to 2,500 beneficiaries. The second is Sayang Sayang Fund, formed by the Community Emergency Response Fund to address the social challenges faced in the early stage of the COVID-19 crisis. Sayang Sayang Fund was originally set up to support frontline health workers. As the pandemic worsens, it became clear that there is the need to supplement the work of local public health, non-profit organizations, and government entities with emergency support and resources. With continued effort, the Sayang Sayang Fund cooperates with 891 grant-receiving organizations and touches the lives of 359,302 beneficiaries. Sayang Sayang Fund raised a total of $9.6 million from various platforms to date, far exceeding our initial target of $3 million by 2020. Our campaign in Giving.sg alone raised $1 million in donation from the public.
Third, the IPCOS Fund was set up to enable social service agencies to continue providing critical services to vulnerable individuals, families, and communities in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, and Singaporeans across all walks to life responded resoundingly with their generous donation, ensuring sustained care for the vulnerable in these uncertain times. Donation will go towards enabling our social service agencies to continue providing critical social service. In addition to financial support, NCSS has also been working closely with the social service agencies to help them with business continuity and integration of technology into their operation and service delivery to ensure sustained access to critical social service.
The series of obligation for tourists to Singapore. Singapore has taken serious steps in manage the visitor situation during this pandemic, empathize the necessary action safely. Before leaving for Singapore, tourists visit for a short period of time are allowed to enter Singapore through one of the following. Number 1, Air Travel Pass or ATP. Number 2, Connect at Singapore or Connect at HG. Number 3, Recapture Greenland or business visit. And the last is Vaccine Travel Lane or VTL. From 7 May 2021, all short-term travel entering Singapore via air travel pass are required to stay at the departure point for the last 21 consecutive days prior to Singapore, and travel entering via Recapture Greenland and required to stay at the departure point for the last 40 days before leaving for Singapore. And request to this 3 days before departure. Number 1, register and pay for the COVID-19 PCR test. Number 2, submit all statement that we are healthy. Number 3, download the Trace Together or Peduli Lindungi application and register your profile. Number 4, self-isolate for a maximum for 48 hours while waiting for the COVID-19 PCR test upon aerial file. And the last, effective for 29 May 2021, prospective tourists are required to show negative result from the PCR.